All right, just making sure that we're live in all the different places, that everybody can hear me, that ooh, I may need to let's do it this way. All right, we're going to get started in just a minute. I'm just making sure that everybody can see me, that it's in all the places. And then we'll get started. And plus, it gives people time to get here. So if you see me in different, looking in different views, I have like different cameras set up and everything else. So, um, but I'm here with you. Okay. So, oh no, that's not where I want to go. All right. So, as y'all know, we are talking today about what's really keeping you stuck and how to unlock the life that you were meant for. Okay. Um, and so I'm not even gonna lie, we'll probably be on for about an hour. Um, so if you need to, this is the perfect time to put in. I know sometimes when I'm busy doing the kids or cooking or doing whatever, sometimes I'll put in my earbuds so that way I can hear and do what I need to do. So if that's what you need to do, then do that. Okay. If you send me I know Facebook right now, so like they're not leaving lives up for so long or whatever. And so if you want, just send me a DM as well. And I'll make sure that you have the information. Okay. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important part about this. All right. Are y'all ready to get started? Oh, I think I tagged the wrong thing. Okay. I'm going live. One of the ways I'm doing this live is a different method than what I'm used to. So it takes a little bit longer for me to get set up, but it's all good. Okay. Because this is going to be good. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be worth your time. It's worth my time. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here because I know we don't always have a lot of time. And I'm not going to waste your time because I wouldn't want anybody to waste my time. All right. So we done got all of these things going. and we're going to get started. Okay. So, again, what's really keeping you stuck and how to unlock the life that you were meant for, right? I've been talking about this coming up for like the past 2 weeks now, even though it kind of went ghost for a little bit because I was sick and not feeling too well, but it's all good, right? Oh no, we need to center that. Okay, so here we go. So, one of the reasons why I picked this topic, what's really keeping you stuck, and how to unlock the life that you were meant for, is because for a very long time, I lived in a space to where I was stuck. And I didn't always realize that I was stuck. I thought it was just how life is, right? And it wasn't until I started actually beginning my true healing journey, my empowered healing journey, my empowered journey to wholeness, that I realized that I was stuck for a very long time. Like I felt like, yeah, of course, like, there was times to where I was like, okay, like I'm tired, things aren't going where it's going. Um, I was present, but really wasn't present, but I didn't realize that it was considered me being stuck. I just like again, it was life. So when so there was often times that I woke up just really exhausted. Exhausted with life, not from lack of sleep, okay? But because my soul, my spirit was tired. I was showing up for everyone but me. I was I was always smiling. I served and I strived for greatness, but secretly, I wondered, why do I still feel like this? And what this was confusion, loneliness, the need to please in order to be accepted, really. I was a I was and am a woman of faith, purpose and intelligence, but I was stuck in patterns I couldn't see. I was living in survival, but calling it strength. Have you ever been like, hold on, okay, like life is life right now. Let me put my big girl drawers on. Cause that's what I used to be like. Okay, it's time for me to go ahead and put my big girl drawers on and let me do this. Let me take care of this situation. Let me go and do some things, make this happen. But again, it was that I was living in survival, but calling it strength. Mm. So you see, tonight is not just about information, it's about transformation. And if you've been trapped in overthinking and people pleasing and emotional shutdown or perfectionism, okay, I want you to know that you are not broken. You are wired for survival. And that wiring can be gently and powerfully rewritten. Tonight, we will be enhancing your journey with the transformation of empowered transformational healing. And you may be like, what's that? We're going to get into that, okay? But first, I want to share now I know. Because you see, I know what it means to suffer in silence, to smile while drowning, to be betrayed by those who claim to love me, to be lost, confused, and broken in places no one could see. I know the weight of trauma, emotional, physical, sexual, medical, psychological, all a burden so invisible, yet so unbearably real. I know what it means to give love and not have it returned, to witness abuse and feel powerless, to stretch myself thin just to belong and still be left out in the cold. I know the ache of friendships fading with no answers, just echoes of silence. I know the fear of being seen, the kind that stops dreams from being born. I've swallowed my voice to make others feel comfortable. I've chosen them over me. I know what it is to have life ripped from my womb, to cry out for help and be met with silence, or worse, to be saved by strangers when those I call friend looked away. I know what it is to be sick, alone, desperate, and still expected to survive. I know the sting of my own mistakes, the guilt that lingers like shadows, the shame of not being my best self. I know what it is. I know what it is to live deeply, to love deeply, to want deeply, to crave deeply, and not have it in return. I know what it feels like to be told I am nothing, a burden, too much, and never enough. I know what it feels like to be branded as a failure, to be made to believe that my life would amount to nothing. But I also know this. I know that God is within me and I will not fail because those lies, they were never mine to carry. I know the pain of lies, the kind that can tear your world apart. I know the cost of smiling while screaming inside and if wondering if there was anybody to help me. I've asked God to rescue me and wondered if he heard me. I've fought unseen battles, spirits heavy on my chest, darkness sucking out my light. I've curled into corners, clutching the last pieces of myself, weeping until there were no tears left. But still, I rise because I know what it is to be saved by God, to be handed purpose when I thought I had none. I know the unshakable power of faith, the kind that rebuilds what the world tried to destroy. I know that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I know who I am now. I know the freedom that comes from living as my authentic self. Ooh. The peace that flows from healing. I am no longer broken to zero. I rise each day equipped with tools, anchored in truth, walking in power. I know that healing is holy, that transformation is real, like a caterpillar becoming what it was always destined to be. I know the power of choosing myself, self care, self love, self worth, self confidence. I know what it feels like to live in divine purpose. I know that I know now. And now that I know, I teach, I empower, I lead. I'm a certified in somatic trauma informed care, law of attraction, meditation, therapeutic art for life coaching. I use the wisdom from my wounds to help others rise. I am the guide that I once needed, the voice I longed to hear, the light I prayed for in the dark. And now I help others overcome, discover, elevate. Because healing isn't the end, it's the beginning of becoming who we were always meant to be through our empowered transformational healing journey. Now, I am Crystal J. So, welcome and hey, hey. It's been a minute, and I'm glad that you are with me. So, what I ask for this time that we are together tonight is that you show up unapologetically for you because you deserve this. And like I said in the beginning, you're busy putting the kids to bed, or you're busy washing the dishes after dinner, or getting ready for bed, or whatever. You need to put your earbuds in, okay? Because I've been there, I'd be multitasking too. But this is knowledge for you because you wouldn't be listening to me right now if you didn't feel that what's really keeping you stuck and how to unlock the life you were meant for. So feel free to comment as I go. I will try my best to keep up with the comments. And we'll see. Sometimes I answer them during the live. Sometimes I go back and I'll DM you and answer your questions. A lot of time I get people who DM me and I answer in the DMs. Okay. If I see it, I answer it. If my VA see it, she lets me know so that way I can go back and I can answer. Okay. So we cool? So just for a couple of moments, just for a brief moment, okay, before we just dive in, okay, because we fixing, yeah, let's just take a few deep breaths, okay. So breathe in and out. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but like my nerves and stress and stuff be up in my neck and my shoulders. And I be having to relax that, especially like if you get nerves and anything. Like it's always my neck and shoulders for the most part. So I'll be having to like release that, or even in my elbow, y'all. Like it's usually this elbow. But anyway, yeah, did y'all do y'all, take a couple of deep breaths, couple of neck rolls so we can begin, okay? So as I was preparing for tonight, I shared some thoughts on my Facebook and my Instagram that um really that I knew would really resonate with so many of us. And I want to take a moment to reflect on them. I don't want to ignore them because I did it intentionally, okay? Because they highlight exactly the struggles that we're talking about here tonight. Okay, so post one, the thing was mostly about being who everyone else needed me to be, stole me. And y'all, these are really things that like I've literally recognized in my own journey and that some of my past clients have recognized in their journey. And so I want to know, have you ever felt like you were living for everyone else but yourself? Like you were so busy being the strong one, the responsible one, the peacemaker, that somewhere along the way you lost yourself. Because this post was, whew, this post was like, whew, when I was thinking about it. Okay. Because it's a truth. And it's one that we don't always admit. We've been carrying identities that were never ours to begin with. And it leaves us feeling exhausted, unseen, and stuck. And tonight we're going to talk about how to start coming home to yourself. Okay. Post two today was minimizing myself became my survival. Again, minimizing myself became my survival. See, this post is for those of you who learn to shrink themselves to survive. I've been there. Maybe you silenced your spirit to keep the peace or questioned yourself because trusting others got you hurt. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. Your spirit wasn't made to be muted, and your voice was never the problem. Tonight, we'll talk about how to reclaim your voice and step into your fullness without fear. Okay. Post three. Post three. I seen that. I'll answer you in a minute. Actually, I'm going to DM you. Okay. Post three. I lost at being me, all for the sake of love. I lost being me, all for the sake of love. Now, this one hit deep because there's a specific kind of grief that comes from abandoning yourself for love, whether it's romantic, family, or even friendships. We settle, we shrink, we betray ourselves just to feel safe or chosen. But what if healing doesn't require you to earn love by disappointing, by disappearing? Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, what if healing doesn't require you to earn love by disappearing or feel like you're disappointing others? Tonight, we're going to explore that as well. How to break free from the chains of conditional love and rediscover the real you. Post four was dead end jobs, dead end relationships, and still I stayed. Now, for those of us who stayed in places we knew we weren't aligned with, whether it's jobs, relationships, or even just the patterns that we uh, have have been used to, that we've accepted, because fear made the decisions that this is where we're going to be. We're just going to stay here. We're not going to move forward. I may not like it here, but it's somewhat comfortable because I know what to expect, right? Because sometimes we don't move forward because we don't know what is coming, right? You see, trauma has a way of making us second guess everything. The things that we've experienced in life has a way to make us second guess everything, even our own potential. We stay in people pleasing, fear, confusion, and self doubt. But tonight, we're going to talk about how to break the cycle and start trusting yourself to choose better. Now, post five, I dim my light just enough to be seen, but not enough to shine. This post speaks to the fear of being misunderstood. Mm. It speaks to the fear of being unloved, not accepted, not enough. It's the fear that keeps us playing small, doing just enough to just get by, but never enough for us to truly shine. But you weren't made to shrink. You were made to step into your greatness. And tonight, let's talk about how to stop dimming your light and start living boldly and authentically. You see, these stories, and yes, I do know some of those posts had like different phrases, but they were made from these five, just different words. Okay. But if you have one that you really want to reach out to me about, DM me. Let's talk about it. Okay. But these stories, these struggles, these situations, these circumstances, they're not just yours. They're patterns we've been taught to survive, but they're not who we are. And tonight I'm going to show you why these patterns exist, how they've been keeping you stuck, and how we can begin rewiring, rewriting them together. So let's start by understanding what's really keeping you stuck. So, what if I told you you're not the problem? Your nervous system is just doing its job. So, your brain or our brain, right? Our nervous system is wired to protect us. It's not wired to be like, oh, let us get all the pretty things. It's wired to protect us. Okay. And so when stress or difficult circumstances or um, trauma hit, our amygdala takes over. Our prefrontal cortex, our logic shuts down. We enter the fight, flight, freeze, right? And you're probably like, what are you talking about? Okay. It may look like, let's see, um, you overthink everything, every text, every conversation. You know, this is also why you feel tense, even when everything is fine. This is why you can't relax, even when you're just trying to rest. Okay. And you didn't choose these patterns, your body did. And it's not about what's wrong with you, it's not about something being wrong with you, it's about what happened to you and what your body believed it had to do to protect you. Okay. So if you've been struggling with low self esteem, self doubt, abandonment, confusion, trust issues, this isn't your fault. These are survival patterns your body had created to keep you safe. So, why haven't I healed yet? You know, is that what you're wondering? Oftentimes, and even sometimes I have to catch myself. And a lot of times when people ask me for questions, I'm like, ooh, it's not just a one sentence answer, right? Because sometimes people be like, okay, you can tell me one thing and it'll be good. No, 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 no. It goes deeper. And that's what's the difference with what I do. We go deeper. Okay. Because you see, mindset is part of the journey, but it's not healing, it's not wholeness, it's part of the journey. Okay. So the just be positive or just set boundaries or just stop caring what people think. You know why these don't work? That those things don't work because when the nervous system is dysregulated all over the place, we can't mindset our way out of survival because and you must feel your way back into safety. Okay. So let me explain this. Let me explain something. Okay. So I know some of you that's been with me, we talked to like I've did a whole thing about the traffic lights of intolerance, right? The red, green, yellow, just like the traffic lights when we're driving down the road, or if you don't drive, you're in your Uber or in your friend's car or mama car, whoever, and you're driving down the road and we have the stoplights. All of us have seen them, okay? And you have the red light, you're stopped, you're stuck, you're frozen, you can't go. Okay. The yellow, we kind of like, we look around and then we might go a little bit, we speed up, whatever is cautious, basically, right? So some people stop, some people speed up, some of us just be cautious and go ahead and be like how much time we have, whatever. Okay. You get the point. And green, of course, means go, right? It's safe for you to go. Okay. So a simple way for an easy way to kind of explain this is an easy way to kind of understand how our nervous system responds to stress and why some patterns feel so hard to break. Okay. So our red light is our ventral vagal shutdown, is freeze. Okay. This is when our system feels completely overwhelmed. You might feel numb, disconnected, or like you're just going through the emotions. It's not just laziness, okay? It's not just laziness. It's your body's way of shutting down to protect you, okay? The yellow light, right? It's like a sympathetic overdrive, your fight or flight. This is when you're in a high alert. Maybe you're overthinking, you're feeling anxious, you're like constantly on the edge, and your body is ready to go. It's ready to jump. Am I going to fight? Am I going to run? What am I going to do? Because I'm just ready to go. I'm just like, hey, any moment, okay? Um, but sometimes there's no real danger, okay? You're just living in that, right? Then we have the green light, right? Before we even go to the green light, how can we function and be like, just don't worry, or it'll be okay, or just pray about it, or what are the other ones? Just set boundaries, just be positive. If we're living in those other two, the red or yellow, how are we supposed to just be okay with just that? How is that supposed to calm you down and really be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay. It's not going to happen. But when we are in the green light, the dorsal vagal, safety, connection, okay, this is where healing happiness. This is where we are going on our way to wholeness, right? This is where we can truly function as our best self. It's the state of safety, calm, and connection. But if our nervous system has been stuck in red or yellow for too long, it can feel impossible to get to that green, to get to the safety, to get to the connection, to get to the calm, the peace, the clarity. Okay. And when your nervous system, again, is in that red or yellow, there's no amount of positive thinking, boundary setting that will stick. It may be good for that moment, but it's not going to stick because you don't feel safe. So, how can you fully open yourself up to receive it? And this is why mindset alone isn't enough. You have to work with your nervous system to create safety first. Okay. And so that's where the empowered transformational healing framework and the ODE method comes in. They're designed to help you move out of survival mode and into a state of safety, a clarity, alignment, where true healing and wholeness can happen. So the ETH framework, or empowered transformational healing, it's the journey that you are embracing, learning, and implementing with me. Because with every core of my being, I believe that empowerment is a must along our journey to healing and wholeness. And I'm saying this after, oh my gosh, years, decades. I just feel like I'm old, but I'm not, y'all. But years of literally going through traditional therapy. Okay. And this was a light bulb moment after I had a mental breakdown and was really going on this healing journey, not knowing what I was looking for, but knowing that something had to be better because therapy was just getting me to my state of, okay, this is life. But it wasn't getting me to the better life, the vision that I had for myself. Okay. The purpose that I knew that was instilled in me. And so, empowered transformational healing gets you to wholeness. It it's what empowers us on this transformational journey. Okay. And I discovered it on my journey from failure, confusion, silent cries, and unthinkable, unthinkable thoughts. It empowered me to become my authentic self and overcome the barriers that were limiting my life, helping me to discover my authentic self, unlocking untapped potential that I didn't know that I even had. It was like hidden somewhere. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like, I see you. Okay. And that's how you're going to be. You're going to be like, okay, I see me. Let me go. Okay. um and so you're gonna and this is gonna like it truly like elevated my life completely. Okay, because back in the day there's no way I would be sitting here on a live. There's no way that I would be like sharing my story. There's no way that I would be doing any of this thing, because again, I am who I needed to be back when I was stuck, lost, confused, broken, ashamed, and just didn't know what the heck to do. So that's why this is important for me. Okay. Um, and so this isn't just about healing, it's about transforming into the person you were always meant to be. Okay. And so I want you to imagine trying to run a race with weights tied to your ankles, right? You're not even working out with the little ankle weights. You're running a marathon right now. And your mindset tells you, just run harder. Okay. Well, my method helps you remove those weights and you can finally run free. Okay. Now, the ODE method, overcome, discover, elevate, is the heart of how I help women and a few men like you move beyond awareness into action and transformation, making sure that we are implementing. Okay. Because if we are aware of something, but we don't take action and we don't implement things, there's not going to be a transformation. Okay. So it's not just a framework, it's a journey, a step by step process that works with your body, mind, and spirit to create lasting change. You've already taken the first step by becoming aware that something isn't working. But awareness alone isn't enough, right? It's not enough. And you're wondering, like, dang, like, what is the next step? What do I need to do? I wish that someone could tell me the next step and I'm going to do it, right? Have you said that? Because that's where I was. And I'm gonna tell y'all another secret. Every level that we get to, where I was like, okay, what's the next step? And so, like me as a coach, I have a coach. Okay. Like we're always elevating. I'm not going to tell y'all to do something I'm not doing myself. Okay. Um, so overcome. Okay. Everything that I do, first of all, is trauma informed, is neuroscience rooted, right? Okay. Because we're talking about really rewiring, um, retraining, doing something that lasts, making a true difference, not just something that's temporary. Okay. Um, we are going to go through how we release these barriers that keeps us limited, and how we can begin regulating our nervous system to where we can be in charge of it. Okay. This is where you stop fighting yourself and start feeling safe, loved, accepted. Okay. You acknowledge the barriers that are limiting our decisions, actions, and keeping us stuck. So the goal is to empower you to take control of the barriers and unresolved fears limiting you from living your best life. Okay. So what that looks like is like you're feeling like you're constantly on edge. You're overthinking every decision. You're stuck in cycles of self doubt. You're struggling to move forward because you're carrying the weight of fear, self judgment, confusion, and past experiences that you haven't been able to let go of. Okay. So we work through it by understanding those barriers that are keeping you stuck. Okay. And then we start building on the found well we first we have to establish the foundations of healing or the foundations of wholeness. Okay. And we explore these barriers and how they impact your mind, your body, your spirit, and keeping you in a state of constant high alert. Because again, if you're in that red or yellow, none of this is going to really stick, right? It'd be good to take some things and it may make you feel good for a day, two, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, but then it all comes crashing back down. We are eliminating that crash. Okay. And then after we do that and establish the foundation and discover those barriers and how they're impacting your mind, then you'll know the importance of why we have to overcome those things, right? And so we learn how to regulate our body, our mind, our spirit, so you can start feeling safe within yourself. And then we embrace these things so we can tackle them. We shift the perspective on vulnerability, seeing it as a way to overcome, to where we can really discover our authenticity, to where we can find those hidden potentials or those hidden strengths, to where we can get you to the best life that you want, right? That elevation you want, whether it's in your career, in your personal life, in your friendships, in your relationships, whatever it may be. Okay, maybe all of those. I don't know. Okay. So we do some of those things with somatic practices like breath work, grounding exercises, all that stuff. We detach from survival mode. Okay. Where survival is not your identity. It's not. Okay. And this is where you'll begin to let go of self doubt, abandonment, fears, confusion, and the need to people please, to keep everybody happy but yourself. Okay. I should have brought some water up here with me, y'all. All right. Then this is also, and then the next stage is we'll go into identifying your values, your beliefs, because just because you were brought up or raised or grew up with certain things doesn't mean that they're your values, your beliefs. How many of us have been in a place to where we're like, dang, I don't want to pass that on. I know there are a lot of generational cycle breakers that are with me who are like, I can't let that continue. But these cycles that we're breaking, sometimes it's people use, well, it happened to me, or that's just how it's always been in our family. Well, that doesn't mean that that's how it always have to be moving forward. This is where you'll find confidence to make a career or life shift and let go of the fear of judgment. Because I know when I was in that space for the longest, I was like, oh my gosh, what is people going to think about me? What are they going to say? What if I say something that offends somebody? But guess what? I had to go on an FYI tour. I am on my journey to becoming my best self. I'm going to share my story because I don't want no one else to go through the mental breakdown that I did. So, therefore, I'm going to share my story. I'm going to share my lessons. I'm going to share the things that I'm learning. And I'm going to teach others to do better and be better and show them the things that I wish I knew when I was in that place. And actually, I'm going to try to get to them before they even have that mental breakdown. So, therefore, I need you to know that my story is my story. And we may have been in that same thing, but the way it affected me doesn't mean it affected you that way. So I hope that you can accept that and know that I'm not coming for you, that I'm not trying to do any of that stuff, tell your business, anything that is my journey. I'm telling my things and how it affected me. Some people just like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah. And then later on was like, what the hell was that? And there's others like, okay, I got you. And there's others like, okay, I got you, but you hear through the grapevine all the smack talking, right? But we're not worried about that. We're worried about being our best selves, changing our lives for the greater, stepping into the version of you that leads, lives, and loves with bold authenticity. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming who you were before the world told you to shrink. Y'all, I'm getting to the end because my phone's going off like, hey, it's bedtime. I'm going on snooze mode. Like I'm going on sleep time mode. I'm like, hold on, what time is it? But okay, we're getting there. Okay. Then of course we're going to discover authenticity and we're going to unlock our potentials. Okay. We're going to reclaim our true essence and set our soul aligned boundaries and step fully into our unlimited potential. And that will look like feeling because you might feel like you're disconnected from who you are. You're unsure of what you truly want and you're stuck in people pleasing patterns, struggling to set boundaries because you feel guilty, right? Or set boundaries because you're not sure if that's what you should really do because it's hard for you to make decisions because you can't really trust yourself to make that decision because you have a fear that if you do that, then they're going to leave you and now you're going to be abandoned and then you're not going to have nobody. And then what are you going to do? I'm telling you. I rather like it's so much better not having the people that I have to people please consistently in my life and to have those who are authentically with me for me. Did it suck on that journey? Because there were some people who I thought would never be out my life that are out my life, and honestly, at first I was like, "Dang, this sucks," but then I was like, "Shit, oh my gosh, this was a whole lot better." Whew. But I didn't know that at that time. Okay. And so we learn how to release the limitations caused by past experience. Okay. We navigate challenges with confidence. We reconnect with our authentic self, your values, your voice, your vision for your life. Okay. Let's see. This is where you discover who you are without the mask. And those who've been with me, we did a whole thing about the mask that we live with. Okay. You discover who you are without the barriers, fear, abandonment, confusion, loneliness, all of that stuff. Okay. And you begin living in alignment with your true self, aligning your purpose, your values, your habits for long term success and fulfillment. Because a lot of times we make success, but we're not fulfilled. Well, we bring those two together. Okay. Here we go. And so, so like A lot of times when people are in this stage and they're like ready to get that success and fulfillment, you're feeling like, you're ready for more, but you're unsure how to create a life that reflects your purpose and values. You want to sustain your growth and live with peace, clarity, and fulfillment, right? And we're making that happen. You make that happen. I just be your guide, empowering you on the way, showing you the different tools and skills and everything else to implement in your life to where when stuff do start trying to hit the fan, you can be like, stop it and get it all fixed up and bundled up and thrown out and going about your way without all these alarms going off, putting you back on the edge. Okay. We're not living on the edge. Okay. And so I go through and I help you discover your purpose, your intentional living, uncover your deeper purpose and align your life with what truly matters to you. Create daily habits and routines that support intentional living and long-term growth. Okay? We're talking about elevation and sustainability. Okay? We step into a life that reflects your highest potential, free from the limitations of your past. Okay. And we celebrate your transformation and create a plan for your growth and your alignment moving forward because you're no longer stuck. This is where you align every part of your life, your purpose, your values, your habits with the person you were always meant to be. That person that is inside you that is screaming and wanting to come out, and you're like, look, I need you to be quiet because I don't know how to even get there. And right now, where I'm at, I'm comfortable. But are you really comfortable? Or are you stuck? Are you really comfortable or are you stuck? We go beyond just understanding what's holding you back. I give you tools, practices, step by step guidance to break free from the barriers and limitations that keep you stuck. This is not about changing who you are, it's about becoming who you were before fear, doubt, and expectations told you to shrink. Or maybe you never even knew who you are. So it's about discovering who you are authentically, where fear, doubt, and expectations can't hold you back. It may hold you for a moment, but you have enough tools and skills to be able to recognize that quickly and move forward and not remain stuck. Okay. It's about reclaiming your voice, rediscovering your potential, and stepping into a life that feels aligned and fulfilled and free. So by the end of this journey, you will move from past you'll move past the barriers that have been holding you back. Rediscover your authentic self or discover your authentic self. Elevate your life, personal, career, relationships, whatever, to one of clarity, purpose, love, joy, respect, understanding. And it all starts with taking the first step. So before we go into that first step, and you want to be here for this, because I'm not even asking you for money, to be honest, I want to go over I what I really want you to take from today, from tonight. Okay? The answers to what you should have gotten from what's really keeping you stuck and how to unlock the life you were meant for. Okay. So, why you're feeling stuck? You've learned that the feeling of being stuck isn't because you're lazy, it's not because you're broken, It's not because you're unworthy. It's because your mind and body and spirit have been carrying barriers that were created to protect you during difficult times. These barriers, let me take my foot off this desk. I'm shaking the desk up. Yeah. These barriers were created to protect you from during difficult times, right? These barriers um, show up as overthinking, people pleasing, fear of judgment, emotional shutdown. They're not who you are, they're patterns your body created to help you survive. Okay. And so traditional advice hasn't worked or don't always work because you're in a heightened state. You're living in the red or the yellow, right? Because I know for one, I used to hear advice like just be positive. Have you heard that? Just set boundaries. Just stop caring about what other people think of you. Forget them. Okay, right? Do you? But these approaches don't address the root cause of why you feel stuck. That's why them alone don't work. Because if you're living in that red where you're just stuck and you're frozen and you're like, ooh, right? Or you living in that yellow where you're on the edge and you're like, ooh, 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 right? Am I going to fight? Am I going to run? What am I going to do? How am I going to sit here and just be positive and I'm living on the edge? And yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Okay. So that's why it's not just mindset. Okay. These approaches don't go to the root cause. And we're talking about, doing more. We're talking about our nerve system. We're talking about really paying attention to our mind, body, and spirit. Okay. Um, and overall, I just want you to get that you can't mindset your way out of survival. It's more. And that's why a lot of times when y'all come to my DMs and be like, hey, you know, what do I need to do? And y'all expressing a one like one little thing or whatever else, I'm like, ooh, it goes a little bit deeper. And sometimes I'll do a voice note. Sometimes like, hey, let's just hop on. Like, hey, I got like 15 minutes free right now. Let me hop on, tell you this or whatever else. Hop on here. Here's a link. Hop on this video call with me. I'm gonna tell you this or whatever else because I'm not going to just be like, oh, just, set boundaries or just go to take this step or whatever else. It goes deeper when we want true, lasting change, transformation to where we really want to get to where we really want to be. Okay. Um, the real reason why you haven't healed yet. Healing isn't about forcing yourself to change overnight. It's a process. Okay. It's about understanding and gently rewiring or rewriting the patterns that have kept you stuck in survival mode, that your body has learned, the alarms that go off, the triggers that we have. We have to know, like, okay, we have to retrain or rewire our nervous system and be like, okay, that no longer triggers us because now we know blah, 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 right? Okay. You've learned that healing requires a process, one that works with your body, your mind, and spirit to create safety, clarity, and alignment. Okay. So the path forward is empowered transformational healing. Okay. Because again, I believe with everything in me, because I've done it by many of clients, have done it with empowered transformational healing. Okay. Reaching there, going for promotions, building businesses, going back to school, going for that, that certification or that degree that they wanted, um, having healthier relationships, getting homes, whatever their goals is different for everybody. finding that love that they knew that they had for themselves before, but don't have now. Okay. It's different for everybody. But empowered transformational healing helped them because with empowerment, it makes your journey so much better. Okay. Um, and transformational. That's what we want. We don't want something that's temporary. Okay. We want something that lasts, tools that last, something in our tool bag that we can pull out. Okay. So you now know that the path to unlocking the life that you were meant um, to have starts with the ETH journey, right? Empowered Transpersonal Healing. Going and doing the ODE method, which is overcome, discover, elevate. You have a clear, actionable process to move from survival to thriving to living your best life to elevating, right? And this journey is about releasing the barriers that no longer serve you, reconnecting with your authentic self, and elevating your life to one of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. So now that you gain clarity on what's been keeping you stuck and the path forward, it's time to take your first step. And I want to make that first step as simple and accessible as possible for you. Okay. So let me tell you about what's waiting for you. In module one of the Breakthrough to Authenticity program, right? The Breakthrough to Authenticity program is a 6 month, all in, all inclusive program. You get weekly sessions with me. Um, we have different tools and action items. You do have a little bit of homework, not a lot, right? Um, but it's a whole program for you. Okay. But we're just talking about module one because module one is where you really begin to realize why you stuck, where you stuck at, and how you can begin to start moving forward, right? And that's what today was about. Well, tonight was about. And so that's why I'm giving you free access to that module one. Okay. Because that's how it can immediately start helping you create that transformation that you deserve. And if you've been with me for a while, then you already know that I always present a tool or action item because we are about taking empowered action here, right? Not about just hearing things and being aware and not doing anything. We're about empowered action and implementing what we learn, what we discover, and elevating our lives, moving us closer to the vision that we see, that we want, and that we deserve. So tonight, again, isn't a worksheet. It isn't a workbook. It's not a one skill. It's not just a tool, but it's all of these and more. Okay? And so to access, your first step is to go and access this free module. Okay? Module 1. It's an immediate win. It's immediate relief, right? And I want to invite you to take that first step in your journey to healing, wholeness, and transformation. This is where every client begins, the exact place where I began my own journey because I had to learn these, but I had to learn it by taking courses, by seeing other people and talking, whatever. I was like, it was a long journey. But now you don't have to figure it out. It's figured it out. It's figured out. The process has been laid. It's been tested. It's been proven time and time again. Okay. So I want you to go, and it goes to crystalj.com/sneak peek. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can put it up here for y'all. Okay. crystalj.com/sneak peek. It's free. Um, ah, hope that's right because I couldn't see it. Yep, it is. Okay. So it's like I said, go and do it. Because right now you might feel like you're spinning your wheels, right? You're stuck in cycles of overthinking. Um, you're stuck in the cycle of self-doubt. You're stuck in the cycle of exhaustion. You're stuck in the cycle of having to feel like you having to prove yourself, right? And you've been trying to push through it, but nothing seems to stick. Nothing seems to work. You may have set boundaries and it's like, oh, they're not listening to me. And so there's no point in having them. You may be in that whole circle of like, whole, I don't know, a whole toxic circle. Like, no, we like, let's begin to get you to where you're feeling like you're safe, to where you're feeling like you love yourself again, to where you feel like you have clarity, to where your fear is not running over you, to where you're not constantly people pleasing and abandoning yourself. Because one thing about this journey was I learned that for years I was so busy people pleasing because I didn't want other people to abandon me. But in that process, I abandoned myself. I silenced myself. And I know you are probably right there too. Let's give you your voice back. Okay? You might even wonder what's wrong with me? Why can't I just move forward? But here's the truth, there's nothing wrong with you. You've been carrying around these invisible barriers, these limitations that were never yours to begin with. And these barriers are like heavy chains keeping you anchored in the same patterns and preventing you from stepping fully into the life that you were made for. And the hardest part, you can't see them, but you feel them every single day when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you get in your car, when you get out your car, when you're walking to the office, when you're cooking, when you're in the shower. They show up in your relationships, your decisions, and the way you talk to yourself. But what if I told you that you could begin to break free from those chains today? So, in Module 1, you'll uncover the invisible forces that have been quietly shaping your life, your neurological barriers. Okay. The things that are keeping you stuck in survival mode and why it's felt so hard to break free. You'll finally understand why you've been stuck, which is not because you're broken, but because your body, mind, spirit have been doing their best to protect you. And most importantly, you'll learn how to begin shifting those patterns gently, powerfully, so you can start feeling safe, clear, and in control again. So I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow with a new sense of clarity, a deeper understanding of why you felt the way you felt for so long. Imagine feeling lighter, like a weight you've been carrying for years have been lifted. Imagine seeing yourself not as someone who's stuck, but as someone who's finally stepping into their power, as someone who is breaking that generational cycle that you're like, oh no, I don't want my kids to go through that. That's what module one is designed to do. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. The foundation, the foundation, the foundation. Because before you build a house, you gotta have a solid foundation. Build a house on a foundation that's not solid, it's gonna come down, right? We're building the foundation. This is 2 weeks of moving forward. So it's more than just something I can just hand to you right here, right now, that is for one night. This is a foundation. Okay. So again, go to that crystalj.com/sneak peek. If you're listening, it's KRYSTALJAE.com/sneak peek. Um, and sign up for that. It don't ask you for no card information. It's yours. That's your gift for being here, for getting out of stuckness. Okay? Because I believe that everyone deserves the chance to break free from the barriers that have been holding them back. And when you're ready to continue after the foundation is laid, or even if you're like, okay, like this, the module's free, but are you coming with it? No, I'm giving y'all this module free. So you're gonna have the module, you're gonna have all the videos, you're gonna have the workbook that goes with it, with that module or whatever else. But you don't get the one-on-one sessions with me or the group with me or anything like that. That's the thing that's out of it. But everything else is in it. And so you're like, no, I know that I really want to begin this journey. And 6 months from now, I really want to have things different. Then DM me breakthrough and we'll get you started in the 6 month all inclusive program. But for now, start with that crystaljcom/sneak peek for that 2 week module to build that foundation, to break free from that stuckness. Okay. Because you don't have to stay in this place of feeling stuck, unseen, or unsure. You've already taken the hardest step by showing up here tonight. The next step is simple and is right in front of you. crystaljcom/sneak peek or DM breakthrough. Okay? Because the life you were meant for is waiting and it all starts with this moment. So as we close, I want you to let's just take a moment together with intention. Okay? And I want you to reflect on this journey we shared. I want you to release anything that's no longer serving you and carry the empowerment, the clarity you've gained into the rest of your night for that good night rest, that peaceful sleep that you're going to get tonight, and waking up feeling refreshed and ready to move forward. So I want you to find a comfortable position, whether you're seating, or lying down, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale. Now take another deep breath in and out. I want you to feel your body begin to soften, relax. And with each breath, breathe in and out. Keep going. Let go of any tension you may be holding in your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, that one place in your head, your chest. You're still breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep going. Checking in with your body. Release the tension. Allow your breath to flow naturally, steady, and calm, like a gentle wave washing over you. As you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to this moment. Let go of any fears, doubts, or distractions. Release anything that may be keeping you from fully embracing the blessings of this time together. You are here and you are exactly where you're meant to be. Notice the sensations in your body, the feeling of your feet on the floor, your hands resting gently, the rhythm of your breath. Become fully present here and now. Now, I invite you to let go of any emotions that no longer serve you. Imagine them gently melting away with each exhale. With each inhale, welcome in the emotions you want to expand. Welcome in peace. Welcome in clarity. Welcome in confidence. Welcome in self love. Welcome in respect. Welcome in becoming authentically you. This moment is about stepping into your power, reconnecting with your authentic self, and carrying the transformation you've experienced today into the life that you're creating. I want you to imagine yourself standing in front of a door. This door represents the barriers that have been holding you back. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, feel yourself letting go of any fear or hesitation. Now visualize yourself opening the door and stepping through it, On the other side is the version of you who is free, authentic, and empowered. That version of you is waiting for you with open arms. And as you step into this space, feel the lightness in your body, the clarity in your mind, and the strength, the love in your heart. You are safe. You are whole. You are enough. So repeat silently or out loud. I release what no longer serves me. I release what no longer serves me. I release what no longer serves me. I reclaim my voice. I reclaim my voice. I reclaim my voice. I reclaim my worth. I reclaim my worth. I reclaim my worth. I am worthy of peace, love, and joy. I am worthy of peace, love, and joy. I am worthy of peace, love, and joy. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming. I love me. I am stepping into the life I was made for. Now take a moment to reflect on how you feel in this space. Notice the emotions, the sensations, the imagery that's present. Allow them to settle into your heart and mind, solidifying the transformation you've experienced today. Now decide now to carry this sense of peace, empowerment, and clarity with you, not just for today, but for the days to come. You have the power to choose how you show up in your life. You have the power to choose how to show up in your life. Now, gently bring your awareness back to your breath. Breathe in and out. In, out. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the weight of your body in the room around you. Begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, slowly bringing movement back into your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Take a moment to look around and notice your environment and welcome yourself back to full consciousness, fully aware of yourself and your surroundings. How was that for you? Send me a DM, comment on the video. I love talking to y'all. Like I said, if I don't see it and my VA sees it, she lets me know. So, hey. and I respond back. As someone asked me before, do you respond back? Yeah, I respond back. Sometimes it's not like the same day, but I respond back as soon as possible. Usually it is the same day. Sometimes it's very quick. Sometimes it really depends on what it is. Okay? So thank you for showing up for yourself tonight. And the person that you're becoming is already within you. You're not broken. You are whole, or you're becoming whole. And you can do this. I'm with you. And that person inside is waiting for you to continue this journey. So take action, take empowered action, implement. And as you leave this space, remember you are worthy of peace, clarity, respect, love, and joy. You are stepping into the life you were made for. And I am here to walk this journey with you, this empowered transformational healing journey with you. And if you're ready to take the next step, remember crystaljay.com/sneak peek for that free 2 week access to Module 1. Or DM Breakthrough and let's get you started in the 6-month all inclusive program. And if you don't want to DM me Breakthrough, go straight to the website, crystaljay.com/breakthrough and join. Okay. Let's continue this journey together. Good night.